Okay, hi. I'm gonna sing you a song. This is Somebody You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. I'm going under in this time I feel there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to turn to. It's all or nothing way of loving got me sleeping without you, yeah. I need somebody to know, somebody to heal, somebody to have, just to know how it feels. It's easy to say, it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. And now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. And I try to close my eyes, but it hurts sometimes. I fall into your arms. I've been saying for your heart when it come back around. And now the day bleeds into nightfall. You're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. Okay, hi. I'm gonna sing you a song. This is Somebody You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. I'm going under, in this time I feel there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to turn to. It's all or nothing way your loving got me sleeping without you, yeah. I need somebody to know, somebody to hear, somebody to have, just to know how it feels. It's easy to say, it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. And now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. And I try to close my eyes, but it hurts sometimes. I fall into your arms. I've been saying for your heart when it come back around. Another day bleeds into nightfall. You're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
Hey Dean, how are you? You are there? Can you hear me?
Stuff appearing on Miro. I put up the couple that came into WhatsApp there as well.
How are you?
Good morning. How you doing, Asana?
Hey Dean, how are you?
I'm great,
are
thank
there?
you.
Can you hear me?
Stuff appearing on
Okay.
Miro.
I
I put up the couple that came into WhatsApp there as well.
How are you?
Good morning. How you doing, Asana? I think we've got an echo in the background. It might be coming from
Yeah,
your
sorry.
kitchen.
Yeah. Can you hear me anyway?
Perfectly well. How you doing? I know it's very hard when you're broadcasting alone because you can't hear your own voice.
Can you hear me anyway?
Perfectly well. How you doing? And
So
you need it in the background to hear my voice. I understand.
It's very hard when you're broadcasting alone because you can't hear your own voice.
exactly, and I think our voice are Hold on. I don't know what is
in the
causing.
background to
Yeah. Sorry. I know what is happening. I'm trying to do so many things at the same time.
I understand. I've been there.
So I think that is it. I think we as African women, we love to multitask. Is that not what is good about being African?
Absolutely. But the multitasking part needs an admin sometimes.
It does need admin. Yeah. So today I'm just going to kickstart today. Let me welcome everyone to today's. So guys, today is our day 4 of this celebration of Africa Day here in Highland. So happy African Day to all the Africans living in County Monaghan. Happy celebration to all Africans living in Highland. Like I said, we have 32 counties here in Highland, and Monaghan is one of those 32 counties. We have 0.38 Africans living in County Monaghan. And today we are joining all those Africans living in County Monaghan to celebrate African Day. We're also joining Africans around the nation here in Highland in all the 32 counties to say Happy African Day. We're also joining people around the world, around the continent, celebrating African Day. I have a guest here with me today that we are just going to be having a conversation about what it is to be Africa. What is the next step that we need to take? Africa, a place of wealth. That is what we believe. It is a place of wealth. It is where the economic power lies. But are we utilizing it? Are we making the best use of that? And that is what Dean Okai Senior is going to be telling us. Did I pronounce the name right, Dean?
You pronounced it right. You're one of the few.
Dean, you're welcome. You're welcome to today's celebration. Thank you for joining us to celebrate African Day here in Ireland. Thank you for being part of this a wonderful opportunity to, project the continent of Africa to the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
so
first and foremost, happy Africa Day to everybody. And it's very important that we take this time to acknowledge it, especially whether we're in Britain, whether we're in Ireland, as to our unique ethnicity that's usually overlooked by everybody else, but who shouldn't be overlooked by is us. We have to acknowledge who we are. We have to celebrate who we are. And when we do that with such a frequency that everybody else can feel included in celebrating what contribution we bring to Britain, and it's a huge contribution that we make economically and culturally, everyone else will start to have the same respect for us. But first, we have to stop shying away from being African people and just celebrating who we are for no other reason than we are.
Thank you so much for that, Dean. Now, introduce yourself to the people that will have the opportunity to see this, this celebration. Watch us live now. Tell us who you are. Tell us what are your ideas in terms of representing yourself, representing the continent which you belong to, your heritage. Let us get to know you a little bit and get into your space.
Absolutely. So I'm Dean Okai, the founder of ADPAC, the African Diaspora Public Affairs Committee. This is a national representative institution of African Caribbeans in Britain. I think we've dealt with Black for so long, and being in this 500-year European Black experiment, we've only been the subjects. We've never been the architects of that experiment. So the point of ADPAC was to step outside of the 500-year Black project where we're subjects so that we can be Africans within our sovereignty. When we recognize ourselves as a specific ethnicity, just like Chinese, just like Greeks who will have their own bank on the high street. So you can see a Bank of Cyprus, you can see a Habib Bank. It's because the communities here are lobbying for their nationals back home and to have that interconnectivity, to have an economic representation of their community through banking, where they can go to hold accounts, to get mortgages, to get loans, which financially underpins their community. Now, because we've been shy, being indoctrinated in the British system, even back home in our countries, whether they are the so-called Commonwealth countries in Africa or in the Caribbean, it still has a very colonial education system, which is a British education system. And that doesn't benefit us. It doesn't benefit us in our subconscious minds. It doesn't benefit us spiritually. And it doesn't benefit us in terms of representing ourselves with our own self-determination. So every ethnicity self-identifies, which is simple and consistent. It's attached to a landmass, and it's attached to a history and a culture. And with Africans, that is exactly the same. But we've been very reticent in expressing who we are in Britain and fully establishing our power throughout that. So when you ask the important question, how do we represent the continent? At the moment, ADPAC has and supports the We Matter Party, who are fielding local candidates for every single local authority ward election 2022. But we're also putting together an all-parliamentary group, an APPG, which is a member from each party. So we have contributors from Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem, the We Matter Party, the Christian Party, Green Party, and there's one more in there that evades my mind right now.
Okay. Now,
however,
sorry, I know. Okay, go ahead. Let me allow you to finish that. Yeah. No, go ahead. Finish that.
So I'll just say that APPG is specifically as the African Caribbean Parliamentary Caucus to represent the interests of resident Africans in the UK, immigrant Africans to the UK, Caribbean islands, and the so-called Commonwealth African nations as well. So issues that are specific to that group contained within that description right there. Nobody else, not Asians, not Chinese, not anybody else's side issues, just our African vertical issues in terms of informing legislative process to benefit that group there that was outlined.
Now, in the Western world, and I'll start with where I am, and I know what you're talking about. Africans, in terms of political position, were not well represented. No. Now, in UK, because most of the things we do in Ireland, copy most of the things that is done in UK. We follow the footpath of what is happening in UK. We use it. In UK, we've been seeing that Africans are represented in the parliament. They are represented within the community, the local community, but still, it's not enough, especially because they've had the opportunity for years to have African Caribbean community within the nation itself. And because of the role they've played in all these country, we shouldn't be treated as a second class, because when they came into our country anyway, our own nations, our own land, our continent, we were not second class. So the idea of them treating us as a second class in their own community I think should be unacceptable. But what I'm trying to bring out of that question is this: you can still have at least they are imagined every single day within the political realm. But in Highland African community, we don't even have we don't even have that political space whereby as a community we can say that we flourish. What do you think are the things that helped readily help Africans in UK at least to get to where they are? And what do you think in the future could help us to move further a little bit more?
I think the first thing we have to do is, that's an excellent question. I think the first thing we have to do is have clarity about African representation. Let's not conflate having an African diasporan in the Conservative Party, like Kemi Badenoch, with having African representation. That's not African representation. First of all, she represents the interests of the Conservative Party, which is hindered within the very narrow confines of Conservative Party policy, which traditionally doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
So when we're clear about that, what we do, excuse me, is establish our own political party, and then after that, an APPG to represent our interests with exclusively councillors and MPs for African Caribbean people. Then we're not confused. I think a lot of the time, based on optics, we think we're being represented.
No, yeah.
And we're not.
Now, just to drop something in here, just to introduce, we have a guest joining us, which is someone that is within the political realm here in Highland. And for me, I wanted to get involved in politics, but when I look at all the parties, I didn't see any party that fits into what I want specifically. Now, it's easy to just go into one of those political realm and just become part of it, and then have this kind of hope that you can change the political realm, or you can, they can dance to your tune. Now, what you are doing there is something I want to do here in Ireland. And I've had this conversation, and I would have loved one of the people I had the conversation here to come in today. Now, I've had this conversation about us having our own political party. The number is not the problem. Is the ability that if we are well equipped and with what we want, if we understand what we want, then we can push the agenda forward to say this is what we want. But at least in that political party, we are speaking for ourselves. Something happened recently here in Ireland. A boy was killed. Now, most of the political parties leaders, most of the councillors, most of the MPs, they knew that exactly. They knew what mattered. They knew that they have the opportunity they knew what happened was wrong, but because they are so afraid to speak, because it might not align with their political parties. So you're totally right with what you're saying, that we need our own space. We need our own, political party whereby we can say this is ours, whereby the agenda is basically for us. It's about our own well-being. It's about taking care of our community. It's about putting our people in power. And then we know they speak for us, not for and whatever party they speak for is our party, is our manifestos, is, you know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So our party, it does matter to have our own parties.
So you hit the nail on the head. Having representation via optics means absolutely nothing. You're not going to come with as much energy and naive hope as anyone has and change a Conservative Party, Labour or Lib Dem. They're doing what they've been doing. They have very long histories, and we're not going to upset that apple cart. All that happens is you get isolated and you get moved further and further back until you're out of the party, and then they create some kind of vehicle to get you out. So the We Matter Party was created to deal with, first, our issues. And we're onboarding potential candidates right now. So I'll leave you the link for the ADPAC website, and you can get in touch with the We Matter Party directly from there and express an expression of interest to become a candidate in any local ward. We're only interested in local wards because that's where the resources are.
Yeah.
And then we can more fairly distribute those resources to our people on the ground. So when we're talking about wards where we've got high populations, we want to win those council seats so that we can more fairly distribute to our people. We can create greater youth programs going all the way through to our senior citizens, just having a space to congregate socially, to play dominoes, to meet for conversation, where they're overlooked and isolated and forgotten about in society. So what we do, our mandate is to circumvent the effects of racism I'm not telling anybody to tear down a system that is not necessary to even engage with, other than at an institutional level where we want to affect legislation specifically for and on our own behalves. And when we talk about Africa, we are worth money to countries in the continent who can directly, rather than creating their own pressure, finance us here to create that good trouble, as I call it, here for and on their behalf. So we can have questions asked Parliament from our APPG on their behalf. We can have legislation affected by putting in these expressions of interest for and on their behalf here in England, exclusively for the African diaspora. We're not confused about who we represent. We don't say black and everybody else.
No.
We're not black. We're African. And we step outside of the 500-year experiment. That's a colloquialism. It's a term that doesn't represent a landmass, an ethnicity, a culture, or a history. So if you imagine that being African was our PIN number when we go into an ATM, you can't talk about 1972 if the PIN number is 1976. You won't get access to your money or any of the information in the ATM. So we are now being very specific about who we are. Everybody is obligated to uphold, promote, and preserve our culture. And because traditionally we haven't, we can't take place in the benefits of cultural capital that will come from the back end, because we've hidden. And we've hidden to fall in line with how Western governments have defined us as black, which they know means politically black, which is everybody.
Everybody. No, thank you so much. I'm going to bring John in there to contribute to the conversation. Now, anybody that knows me here knows that the idea of referring to us as black is just very, for me, I find it politically incorrect. And I can accept my blackness. That's a different thing entirely when you talk about blackness. But seeing us as a ways, as a black people, no. I keep telling people that we are Africans. We have a roots. We are people from the Akuba land. We have a root. We are from you're from Yoruba tribe. We have different tribes. And interestingly, John was with us when we were having this conversation with one of my guests. The idea of seeing us that we are African. We are Africans as an African. That we should forget the idea of whether you are Kenya, you're Nigeria, and that we should see it more as a tribe. But we should see ourselves as one, because this division came through colonization. This naming, the name, what Kenya means, how did that name came up? The way Nigeria, what is the name Nigeria? That is not what we are, because before the British came in, we settled as kingdoms. We had the Yoruba kingdom, we had the Benin kingdom, we have we come in kingdoms the way we are in our own tribe, and we rule ourselves, our kings and our chiefs. And somebody was telling me this system of government that the European is using today came actually when they came to Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, we have the king, we have the chiefs, we have the baales. Now, the king is the head, then they have the chiefs, which are the ones that works with the king. And in each of the local town, they have the baales. Within the baales, they have elders. So, and this is a chain of administrations, the way it is run. They have the head of military. They have different type of things. They call them different type of name. And we have a system before the colonization. We have history before the colonization. We've been existing from the creation of the world. But that part of our life seems to be cut off when you go into those black something. Because they just put it's just the history of when they came into the country, is history of the suffering that people experience when they are in the Western world. But it doesn't talk about the overall, what it means to be African. So I'm not going to bother to call your surname. I have to learn to call it. Mr. John, tell us about your own political interest here in Ireland, how that came into being, and what is your own ideology in terms of political awareness within the African community? Okay, you're on mute. Okay, good.
Yes, thank you so much for this wonderful day again. We've been here for the last 4 days now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, 4 days. So, kudos to you for this wonderful job you're doing. And also, I want to thank Mr. Dame. Though I joined late, I was struggling to get in connection into this, but I enjoyed the input that he has put into this conversation. And I don't know, there are so much to talk about, honestly speaking, but I don't know where to start from now. But I think I will start from the middle so that I will be struggling to start from the beginning. So, first of all, I want to connect with the fact that we should be seen as an African rather than being Black. Okay, I've begun to see that narrative of late that it should be our identity, because when you look at the African continent in itself, you look at the Maghreb, the North African. How will you describe those? Are they Blacks, or how do you want to connect those South Africans that are there who came at a point in time and they did not go back to probably which country they came from in Europe, and they are not white Africans. So if we begin to use the variation of names or the adjective to qualify the kind of color or the way we look is as a continent, that should create a lot of problems. But when we say we are Africans, and that so be it. I was having a chat with my son the other day, and I was trying to remember one artist I think it's from Jamaica. I know it's not Bob Marley. He says that wherever you come from, as long as you are a Black man, you are an African. But just because of the kind of movement that was taking place then, probably must have necessitated that song. But however, we Africans, we are beginning to divide ourselves, because some of us that have been in the United States after the end of slavery and whatever drives that have been put in place to create the awareness of we have to be free and all that, they don't really want to connect themselves to Africa anymore. What about the Caribbeans that are still Africans? They don't want to see themselves as an African. Then we, the Africans, we also, how well would we really see ourselves as one Africa? So until we begin to have that definition or to able to connect with the fact that we are Africans and we are one, we will be able to understand our values and how we'll be able to defend them and how we'll be able to promote them. So that is a big issue, because some of the Africans are beginning to see themselves as, oh, I don't supposed to be an African. I want to be a European. I want to be wherever country they prefer to affiliate themselves with. But for me, I'm an African, and I will ever remain African. I keep saying this to my children. You're an African, born by an African parents. So though you could be having a different nationality because where you were born, but then see yourself as an African, you still remain an African. And for you to be an African, there are values. And what are those values? Language, our culture. So if we do not be able to define and defend all those things, those values, I wonder how the kind of African that we want to portray ourselves to be. So that is one. I know the questions are so much there. Yes, I joined politics here in Ireland just because there are a lot of things, there are a lot of issues, and you cannot stay at the side complaining of those issues while not getting involved to see how you can impute those your concerns and how you can change the center to affect those issues that you are concerned about. So, and I heard some too, I hope the name is correct.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
That
Suzanne, yeah.
Suzanne, that he has checked around all the political parties and he couldn't really see the one to affiliate herself. Let me say to you, there is no way you really see any political party that will really suit your kind of person, because maybe what you have in your heart is not what is really playing out there, and that is how it is across the board. You will never see it. And our brother was suggesting, Mr. Dean, that if we can have a political party, and that maybe could be a way.
He's doing more than suggesting. He already runs a political party that is for Africans, and he's going to talk a little bit more about that. And like I said, I'm delighted you are here with this conversation, because it's something we're hoping to bring to Highland as well. Whereby, and I told him when we were talking that this is an idea that I've been nourishing, and I've spoken to quite some people about it. Even the chairperson for the organization is an Indian. We spoke about this as well. They were thinking of setting the same thing up, and we were thinking of joining with them because we feel that our population is small. But after talking to Dean, I think we just have to do this on our own. So go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you for putting me in line. So I've been advised at one point that why can't I just see if I can start up a political party? But first of all, we have to look at the direction of we Africans in our little communities and in the country in general. How well are we really see ourselves together? Because unity is strength. If we begin to see ourselves in a minute way, or I'm a Nigerian, or you are from Kenya, from the east, you are from South Africa, or from Botswana, from Namibia, you are from the south, we are not connecting ourselves together. The strength can never be there. So all these are the kind of things I have privileged to run for both local election and national election here in Ireland. But the truth is, how well did I really have that perception of the African give me that support base? If the support base was really put to place from the whole constituency that I came from, I believe I should be a member of parliament as we speak today. But the numbers were there, but the unity is not there yet, and they have not been able to understand how we can make changes that will benefit the generations that would come after us. So these are the things I think we Africans should begin to look at, generations coming, rather than what we have to benefit immediately. And that is one of the narrative that is really impeding our chances, because we don't see the generation coming. We just want to do it for ourselves now and not never. You understand? So not until we begin to build on that direction, we will be able, I don't think it's going to be a bit difficult for us to really have ourselves together. So let me just recap a bit. First of all, as an African, we need to love ourselves. We need to have that understanding that we are one. We have the same kind of cultural heritage or background that we cannot be. If you play Congo music, like yesterday, it was we have Mr. Danny, who was our DJ yesterday. It's an Irishman. He was playing variety of African music, and he's using those old record. He has the records. I was telling my son, I said, can you imagine? This Irishman, he had the record, he had all those things, he was playing them. I said to him, we're going to do your DNA, because it's like you're an African, if you don't know, we'll just have the fun about it. But all the same, so when we play those music, they give us the same melody. They give us the same melody. That tells us the uniqueness that we have as one. But we divide ourselves probably from historical point of view, or colonial aspect of our lives, as kind of disorganize and divide us, and we are not really coming together to understand that this is not what we should be today. I love what you said in terms of code, 1972 to 1976. If you put 1972 or 1976, it won't work. So, but today is a different time and age. So we today should begin to connect ourselves and begin to redefine our values and our people, so that we can really get there. So to conclude, if you are not there at the center, you will be able to, your voice will not be heard, and you will not be able to make any difference. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for that. And I'll pick something up from what you said that I want us to, to focus our conversation on as we go further. And that is about unity. Now, the number doesn't matter. And for a long time, we've talked about numbers. Oh, we are minority. We're minority. The numbers doesn't matter. If there's unity in those numbers, we can do we can do so much. And thank you, John, for bringing that up, because it just resonates with me that in Ireland today, we have close to 60,000 people identify as Africans, people that is identified as African. Now, we can beat anything if there's unity within those numbers. And in Ireland today, one of the problems we have, you're right, Nigerians wants to be Nigerian. Congolese want to be Congolese. And then Congolese or this is jealous that Nigerians are everywhere. Or we instead of us be like, if you see a Nigerian there, that is my brother, that is me, that is there. If we start seeing that, and I remembered when most of our Africans are running political posts here, every single person, I support them. It doesn't matter whether they are in another county or this, or it's irrelevant to me. I say to my kids and I say to people around me, if as long as he has the same skin tone with me, he has the same culture with me, I don't have to love him to support him. He doesn't need my love, he needs my support. And so that is it. And I go everywhere to support everyone. And people think I'm everywhere. It's not about being everywhere. It's just about anybody that identify to be me. No matter how small my support is, I will give it to them, because it is me that is there. It's not, and that is just what we need to. And you're right. You will find out here in Ireland that when we begin the political opportunities that we've had, it is the community people, the Irish host community, that are actually giving us the support rather than our own community. People, you won't even see them out voting. So we need education. And when we decide to bring in this political something, I think, and I'm happy that there's that kind of educational background to what you're doing. We need first to educate ourselves, start educating ourselves about what it means to unite. Is it Ubuntu? Is it Ubuntu? Who can pronounce that for me again? Ubuntu, the spirit of Ubuntu. John, can you pronounce that? Ubuntu, yeah, the spirit of unity, the spirit of togetherness. Yeah. The spirit of togetherness. So I'm going to give Saidat an opportunity to just introduce yourself, give your message out there, and let us just know a little bit about you, and then we kickstart from there. Thank you very much. Welcome on board.
Okay. Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. My name is Saida Salau, and I'm the company secretary of Afro in Diaspora. And I'm sorry for coming a bit late. I was trying to fix my laptop. As I'd add, like I usually identify myself. Oh yeah, let me first say something. Happy Africans Day. No, I almost forgot. Anyway, so I usually identify myself more as an African than a Black person. And why is this? Being an African is quite broad, like it's a broad term compared to being a Black person, because an African need not have a Black skin tone. The person can be light, can be fair in complexion, can be light, can be even really, really, like, can be white. So like because being an African, you can just have this touch of, just a big touch of the culture and the tradition of Africa. So I would like for all of us to identify ourselves as African rather than a Black person. Then also, I've heard from the two speakers, which they spoke really lovely, and they did mention something, and I keep emphasizing that unity is key. They said people usually say that united we stand and divided we fall. If you look at history, like time memorial, you realize that like whichever society, either whatever society, every society maybe that has been colonized or has fallen or whatever, you realize that like there is usually a division between the people, and it's usually their own people, because of the lack of support from their various people, that they fall, that society fall. No matter how little, like or how few a people form a community, if they're united, they have a very loud voice and they can speak, compared to like an individual speaking. Like if you see three people united and they speak, you see that it's quite loud compared to one person, one individual, like one of each of those three people speaking. So it would be lovely for all of us to stand as one. And irrespective of our numbers. Then also, what would I like to say again?
Okay.
I don't really know much about the politics in Ireland because I've been here in Ireland for like just 1 year and some few months. But one thing I can say is that if we come together, we can make it happen. So once again, happy Africans Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. You know, it was important to bring in fresh blood. It was important to bring in a different perspective. Saidat is our company secretary. She's a lawyer by professional, and I'm sure she's not speaking about that part, but yeah. And I wanted to bring in, you know, we talk about unity. Either you're a Christian or Muslim, it's irrelevant. What matters most is that we see ourselves as one. And if we start seeing ourselves as one, we stop allowing people to use our religion, our views to divide us. We say we are one. And if we start doing that, look, and that expression you were talking about, this is the best way I would have expressed it. That when you see 1,000 people talking, if they are not united, you won't hear their voices because it will be going. But when you see just only 3 people together, if they are united, they will be seen more than the 1,000 people that is just shouting and making noise.
Yeah, the 1,000 people that are not speaking, like the 1,000 people, as you said, that are not united would create a noise rather than a message. So we want to be united to actually create and pass a message rather than a noise. So that's what I was just trying to say.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I was looking at the comments on Facebook. Lydia from UK, she was one of our guest speakers. She spoke. She was there when we were having the conversation for the I can't pronounce it yet. Mbantu. So she put the spelling there and everything for us. Yeah. So you can see it there on the screen. So going back to you, Dean, you know, like I said, the beauty of us as African is that, and the beauty of celebrating this African Day, there's something there in the background. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but there's a noise there in the background that I'm hearing. I don't think it's from my side, but
it's not from my side.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out that I'm hearing some little noise in the background.
It's a broadcast of some kind.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm wondering.
In any case, don't let any hurdles prevent you from getting your message out.
Okay, so let's just keep going. So the most important thing here is that I'll bring you back to the center to, you know, what we are trying to do here is that in celebrating this African Day, we want to be able to touch every aspect of what it is to be African. Music, our food, our heritage, art, craft, you know, everything, our people, our ideology, the skills that we have within our community, the talents that is there that can be utilized, the wealth of Africa itself. You know, we will have David joining us around 1:30. Hopefully, he will definitely join us anyway because I'm on his neck. And he's going to be talking about the opportunities. Yeah, it says, yeah. So the word Umberto is a Swahili word. So Linda is still educating us on that word on Facebook. So she's trying to keep us going. Thank you so much, Lydia. So it's about talking about the world. So tell us more about this ideology that you've so much embraced, and you're doing everything you can within our community. We are seeing you as our rising star. We're seeing you as a leader that just focus on your people, your community. And the beautiful thing about you is that you had the opportunity to have the different heritage. You know, you're from the Caribbean, you have a linkage to the African community, is from Ghana. So tell us about this. Tell us a little bit more about this.
So Sahida called it is the spirit of Ubuntu. And when you realize that just having 6 people who have the same ideology, who is printed in their DNA, as you said, is vastly more powerful than having 1,000 people. The 1,000 people that make noise, they're a vocal minority. We are a silent majority, but people get jaded after a while. And if you don't have a vehicle that you can onboard that can represent your interests, then it's just talk. And we've been talking for a long while. Yeah, we have to get together, we have to unify, but who really wants to sacrifice their time to put that vehicle together? these things cost money and they take sacrifice. So because we're not capitalized in the first instance, we always look to somebody else. Who's going to do it? Who is them? Who are they? And then you'll hear a conversation and you think work is being done, but no work is being done because no money is there. So there's a stage where you have to suck salt initially and keep moving forward in your own confidence, whether that is some psychological disposition that needs to be identified. But making those incremental steps in the same direction, what you start to do when you have a very small cabal of people that have the same focus to derive the same outcome is you start to spiritually attract your peers. So what happens is, for whatever reason, the same way you contacted me, is that there is a spiritual alignment that is happening, a quickening that is attracting us to each other. And at this stage, I know there to be so many of us and working at the highest echelons of every industry that it makes me very confident. I don't have any concerns. So the fact that we do have a fully registered political party that ran 2 candidates in the last election, I'm confident that between now and the next 12 months, we can field 60, 100 candidates nationally who will only be circumvented from the position by their own capabilities. So we will onboard them. We will have a full campaign to support them locally in their elections, but where you can see that it's tied to a much wider party that has national capabilities. In terms of representing our continent and our culture, we want to do that with the APPG, so that when any issues come up, like the Windrush generation who were attacked by Britain illegally, and let's look at it, because apparently we're not in a country that is racist. So they destroyed naturalization records, which is illegal. They isolated people utilizing all the tools of the state, the police, the immigration force, the DWP, the Department for Work and Pensions, the NHS, the education services, the local authority, all came together as a cabal to isolate us and create a hostile environment for us. Then they kidnapped us and deported us, and they asset stripped us. So this is what institutional racism looks like. I saw, and he's actually now what is his position in London? In the London Assembly, Sean Bailey, talking about we have to look at individuals and institution. No, we don't. If the institution has racist policy, racist policy will be met out. Amber Rudd gave an order: destroy African Caribbeans' residency records. That isn't to do with the individual. An individual gave the order, but it was because it came down from policy from Theresa May as Prime Minister, and the entire cabinet agreed. Therefore, the Home Office executes the policy. So we can't get confused about the process, and we can't say I'm not interested in politics because it's not going to touch me. Politics is going to touch every area of your life. So let's be self-determined in the politics of our own communities, and let's control the resources within our communities. And then let's empower each other through the spirit of Ubuntu, and then really make an impact in Britain based on what we know our influence truly should be. What it is, and here is it in essence. If you remember the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, that man was building the kingdom to the tower to heaven, and God boxed away man and confused him by giving him different languages and understandings. This is where we are now. We're scattered with our tribalism, which is, I'm now going to name all of the horizontal issues. Sexuality, horizontal issue. Tribalism, horizontal issue. Religion, horizontal issue. We want to deal with the vertical issues. You are of African origin, vertical issue. You are socioeconomically affected in this way, vertical issue. We want to create greater socioeconomic mobility, irrespective of your religion, your tribe, your sexuality as an African, because the fact that you come from this landmass, whether you immigrated, whether you are a descendant of enslaved people, we don't care. They're all horizontal issues. It's the fact that you are an African origin in the UK and the fact that you are susceptible to the same common racism that we are all susceptible to. And we can't escape it if we think about our families. Even your higher economics doesn't circumvent you from being susceptible, because your children can be affected in schools. You can be affected in the NHS. The police can stop you in your car. This is what we have to put an end to collectively. So when we are collective Africans and we affect legislation, we say we want to reform the Metropolitan Police Force. And we want to do that by making it a policy that the police have to be ethnically representative of the communities that they police. So we're no longer there to be contained and over-policed and underserved. Now we're here to be protected by the police, who truly represent us ethnically and ideologically.
So it is not just a political party, or it's not just a community that that represents just minute voices within the community, rather than it has to be a diverse community in terms of all the necessary necessary civil positions. Because because today you're right. You can't say, there's just no way. Let's just even put into perspective what happened in terms of the this COVID-19. It affects everybody, even if you're not, because the system has positioned himself in every institution anyway that exists. So wherever you think you are, you get affected. So you can't say, and you're right to say that you can't just come up and say that, okay, because I'm not there, or it won't affect me, or I don't need to bother myself with the political structures of what is happening around me. I just need to focus on being me or my community. No, because everything does affect us, and you're right to feel that way. So what is it that we need to start thinking of? What is it that we need to start doing in terms of doing? And I know that is what we've been talking about, but to just put it into more perspective, is that this is what we actually really need to do. To start putting ourselves, because it's about positioning ourselves. We did a program, a women program, and they were trying to take pictures. And then, so when we want to take the picture, the man doing the picture was pushing everybody backward. Stay there. And I keep going to the front. And he's been going, I just keep coming back to the front. This is where I'm saying that I'm not going back. We had like two of us that are Africans. I have to be in that front. I have to position
in the front.
I have to be seen.
Absolutely.
So, and I know that wherever I will be seen, but I have to be really seen. So it's been going on, and then one of the women that put this program together actually came forward and said to him, he said, "Do you know her?" I said, "Yes, Susanna." He said, "That is where she's going to be staying. You don't need to worry yourself. She's trying to tell you this is where I belong." So,
absolutely.
I just
you hit the nail on the head.
Exactly. So the man just left me, and then I stay in the front. And I've been talking through the conference that it's about positioning ourselves. We have to start positioning ourselves in places that is relevant to us. We have to position ourselves in the things we want for ourselves, rather than that to allow ourselves to be positioned by others. But you position yourself where you want to be. So
exactly.
Give us more, something to say, okay, in terms of political positions in the country, let us position ourselves. So give us an insight of that. In terms of educational, how do we position ourselves? And in terms of civil services, because that is civil services in the countries is so important, because yes, there's an election, they bring in the ministers, they bring in the councillors, but the people that really runs the country are the civil servants. Because when a new minister comes in, they've been there for 20 years. They are telling the minister, this is the way we do it. So
Absolutely.
how do we position ourselves?
You just perfectly identified it. And it sounds so simple what you said. You refuse to go to the back. So what you have left breadcrumbs to without saying it for the slow seats is that we have to be complicit in the process of being oppressed. So if you listen to that man and you are complicit with his instruction, you place yourself at the back.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing and complicit to isolate yourself, right?
Yes.
You did something very simply, very beautifully. You refused. And when we refuse to be complicit with a system that is isolating us, they become confused because we are anomalies. Make no mistake that we are anomalies. But anomalies give ideas to the masses, right?
Yes.
Your job is to influence the influencers. My job is to influence the influencers. Together, our role is to create a critical mass of influencers who are influencing the mass of African and African Caribbean people in the United Kingdom to come together to support singular entities that are umbrellas for all of our entities in Britain. So if we're talking about education now, we have an initiative called the Schools to Industry Pipeline, which is to create a seamless pipeline for 3-year-olds to 21-year-olds going across school, rites of passage, African supplementary school, college, university, and then industry, so that each one of those elements is mentored all the way through to pay it back to peers who are younger, and then also for us to surround them with the intra-agency approach, the public health approach, where you have, again, rites of passage, which is early intervention, which gives us a great cultural understanding of ourselves as African young men and women. The supplementary schools, where we are learning history and our culture. So all the way through, we're getting a great wraparound care. And then if the African family breaks down, we would send in an intermediary counselor so that we can heal the family and bring them back together, which is very different from the European approach of bringing in social services to isolate the child from the family. Now, in order for this to be adopted at a national level, we create legislation, but we have the initiative on the ground so that as soon as we're accessing funding anywhere, we become operational. But what we don't do is wait for other people's permissions to execute what we know our people need on the ground. So APAC's role is to coordinate the grassroots professionals and advocacy professionals on the ground for specifically and on behalf of our people. So in the political field, we support the We Matter campaign, the We Matter party, and we create the We Matter campaign so that it is in people's subconscious mind. So come time of election, all year round, you've been seeing the We Matter campaign solutions so that you know this party represents your socioeconomic interests and will fight for you to be given a bigger slice of the pie at a local level.
Now, the We Matters party, this is a political party we were talking about. It's about we as Africans, that we matter. I'm going to bring in John just to share some of your, you spoke firmly there about unity. I wanted to share some of your own ideology in terms of how you think we can position ourselves within where our space, because this is our space. Now, how do we position ourselves? And, just to re-emphasize that leadership role, that unity, that spirit that we're talking about of togetherness. How do we position? What do you think is the best way we can position ourselves? Yes, today we're talking about positioning ourselves in terms of political powers, being part of the community, engaging with the community politically, because the political engagement is where all the decisions are made. And one critical thing that then has been talking about is that where is our power? Is it at the head or at the root, or is it at the local community, or is it at the national level? He has identified that the power is at the local level, where you have the local community. They are that is the grassroots. That is where the power is. And if that is where the power is, for the We Matters Party, they want to position our people where the power matters, because that is where you can quickly make a change. And if you carry your voice from the local, you can easily, if you're strong there, you can take it down to the national level and you can overpower it, because the unity starts from the roots. So how do you think we position ourselves? And then after that, we're going to have a break. You guys can get a cup of tea, get a drink, and Saidat has some presentation that she will be doing while we're on break. You can stand up, use the loo if you have to, whatever you need to do, we'll do it during that period of time. So I'll bring you in just to put you in the spotlight, John, and let us hear from you.
Yeah, thank you once again. And I will really want to be grateful to Mr. Dean, who has really spoken well. So it's just that I just want to align more with what he has been saying. First of all, I want us to observe. I want to put this as a point of observation, in the sense that we are trying, and as Africans in diaspora, irrespective of where we are from, one of the barrier that is still affecting us, whether we want to see it from that a little bit from that angle or not, is the way the African leaders are exhibiting themselves internationally. Is kind of not helping most of our determinations and effort here, because whatever the way they present themselves to the international world is one way or other, directly or indirectly, impacting our effort here as well. So I want to draw our attention to what is going on in the United States. During this COVID-19 situation, we realized how the anti-Asian racism was up in America. And guess what? There was a bill that was passed to curb that. Okay. Then I was watching the news a little while ago before I joined this live stream event. Africans in America are only 9% that have been vaccinated. 9%. Why the what do you call it? Those from the north, the Hispanic, they were 14%. So what is playing out in all of this? We have to think about that. So the question is, how do we really build and how do we position ourselves? Yes, first of all, we have to start from the grassroots base. Without being on the grassroots, you cannot really metamorphose to the top, because it starts from there. So if you want to contest for any parliamentary position as a candidate, if you're not known from the grassroots base, you cannot get much support from that base. Therefore, we need to start from there. Secondly, we need to have that understanding that we need to come together first of all as Africans. That is very, very paramount to how we can really forge ahead. If, for example, we have South African working in any position, which is very good. We have a Kenyan working in another position that is very good. They will have a Nigeria working in a very good position that is also good, high place. And these people, they don't know themselves. They don't work. They don't even have any connection, any connectivity on how they can bring those their positions together to influence the policies, and how to bring the other Africans who are still a little bit down there to come together and begin to make some differences. There will be nothing. You understand? So we, like you said, the moderator, we have the numbers, but we don't have the unity. Therefore, we are not known. Let me bring a little bit in the issue of George Ukensho that was shot dead on the 30th of December last year. We rally and as much as possible to see how the justice can be done, how the investigation should be carried out, and see what happened. But to this day, nothing has surfaced. We are still waiting and waiting. But if we have that voice, if you have that unity, and we have that people in position that will question this process, that will speed up the investigation and some outcome of what is there. But because the positions were not there, and politically, no any a well-placed politician want to affiliate themselves in this situation, because it's going to cost them what they have been working for all their lives, because they have seen themselves falling into what it is that these are minority, and above all, they don't really have any place in the society. So what are you going to benefit when you begin to connect yourself with people like that? So these are serious issues. So not until we begin to position ourselves in a collective and united way and with purpose, I believe it's going to be a bit challenging for us to get there. So we need to understand this. So I started by saying our African leaders are not playing into the gallery. So, and that is also having that impact in all the effort that will be putting in place. Thank you.
Thank you so much for for what you said there. When this incident of George Inkencho happened, now just to let Dean understand what that means to us. Dean was a young boy, a young African boy. He's 27 years of age. Dean was shot dead by the police in Blanchardstown. George, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Darren. Yeah, George Inkencho was shot dead by the police on the 30th of December 2020 in front of his house. Now, he was shot 6 times under the basis that the police believe, the guards believe that he was a threat to them. So because they believe he was a threat to them, in front of his own home, without not a gun, but they said he had a knife with him, and 12 officers were present, and they couldn't get a knife out of a young boy of 27 years old in front of his house that is mentally healed. They decide to shoot him 6 times. Now, what we realized after the postmortem, it was that the shot wasn't him at his leg, or that would have said that they were intending to decapitate him or something like that, so that they can get a knife that they claim was with him. The knife was never seen up to today, but they shot him directly in a place whereby there's no way you can be shot without dying. So they aimed to kill. It wasn't like that was what the postmortem. So the narrative changed when the postmortem came out, because they discovered that they aimed to kill rather than aim to bring him down.
Incapacitate him.
Exactly. And this was 12 police officers. So the narrative changed. But up till today, like you said, we've not been able to bring a solution to it. And it's because we are not in a position, we've not had the opportunity to position ourselves in places that we allow our voice to be heard. And because that is not happening, it's creating a lot of, it's not giving us that opportunity to make the change that we are talking about. So as we celebrate today, just to go back, as we celebrate today, African Day today, I think one of the things that the message I would like us to really put out there, every one of us, before we take our break, is that how do we make the change today? Yes, we are celebrating African Day. Yes, we're coming together to say Africa is a place of wealth. Africa is where the economic power is. And Africans in diaspora, specifically Africans in diaspora, which is you, me, you and me, that we have a role to play. We have a role to play, because if we unite, even in the diaspora, because we've seen more, we've seen a lot of things now. We're well-rounded in terms of information. We should start uniting, because our role is critical. Our role is critical in the way Africa, proceed forward, So I want each of you to put a message out there, because initially our message started with saying Happy African Day. That is how the message started. But before we go on break, I want us to put a message there that will change the narrative, that start changing the narrative to people to say that we do matter. And because we matter, and especially for us Africans in diaspora celebrating African Day today, what role are you playing to make that difference? So I'm going to start with Dean to just put your message out there. Oh, you are mute.
Sorry. I recommend that people engage with ADPAC as delivery partners. So if you run a grassroots organization, go to the ADPAC website. As you scroll down to the bottom after the About Us, you can sign up as an organization in education, politics, whatever area you work in, economics, one of the 8 areas that ADPAC operates in. We will work with you and connect you with peers as well. So if you go to the website, sign up as an organization, as a professional delivery partner, because there are commercial projects in nature as well, sign up with us. So if you go to blogs, you'll see a number of initiatives that are specific to particular industries or areas of civic life. And we just ask that you sign up. Then what we do is we connect you with peers and put you within the frameworks that we're creating for initiatives that have a national context.
Thank you so much. Now I'll bring you in, John.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dean. You are always on point. I would want to also have a different dimension to this. I would still want us, the African diaspora, to see how we can liaise with our government back home for them to try and have a different approach to governance and how they can protect the lives of the Africans back home. So that when that is done, it leverages with what we are doing here. So any which way we can also give them support in terms of policies, change in policies or change in approach to governance, that can also, that it will bring a kind of positive outlook in our own ways here. And also we should strive as much as possible to have that unity. We should support one another. It doesn't matter where we are from, as long as we are Africans. We need to begin to connect with ourselves, build the platform where we can begin to make a good difference, significant difference in our various communities, and also that they will see us as, yes, we are people that cannot be left behind.
Thank you so much for that, and thanks for your comment there, Dean, on Facebook. Guys, you know, you can put comment on Facebook. We're being seen on Facebook, so we're on Twitter, and we're on YouTube. So those are the 3 social platforms that right now everybody is watching and seeing us, and I know we are getting our message across there. So thank you so much for that. So Saidat, are you ready for your presentation? Now, guys, you can have your break. You can stand up, stretch your leg. Got a couple of tea in New York, you know, whatever you want to get. We should have 2 other people joining this conversation from UK as well. I think one from the island here and another person from UK, just to have the balance in between the house. So thank you, Dean. Thank you, John. Get a glass of tea or cup of tea anyway to while you're waiting.
Can you take your phone?
Oh no, I thought you have it on your laptop there.
Yeah, like please, can you check your phone? I'm coming.
Okay. If you want me to play it, you have to send it to my email, so that would be easier than the phone because I'm on the laptop. Yeah. And then I can do other things while we're doing that.
Sorry, are we having break or we are still on?
Yes, we are on break now. Yeah.
How many minutes?
No, take up to 20 minutes.
So we'll be back at 1:45.
Yeah. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Good.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good.
The opportunities you have been looking for are found at the heart of the southern tip of Africa. The Kingdom of Lesotho, a place of pristine beauty, extraordinary natural resources, and a growing and diversifying economy, offering significant competitive advantages and value to its inhabitants and to all those looking for an ideal place to invest, live, and prosper.
Okay, well, you don't have
The Kingdom of Lesotho offers accessibility,
okay, don't worry. As long as
sustainable growth,
let me check. I'll do it.
a free enterprise and
No
free
problem.
market
I'll do
economic
it and you
system,
can talk over it. Yeah, I'll do
an
it.
educated human resource base
Because I want you to be the
with one of the
to do the
highest
So
literacy
when we
rates
come
in
back,
Africa.
yeah, I'll do it. But when we come back, you'll be the main host, asking them
Market
questions.
access,
At least you do it for like 10 minutes, just to give me a break. I'll play it now. But when
a
we come
nation
back,
expanding its economy and empowering wealth creation through a robust commercial agriculture and
let them
agro-processing
to talk about
strategy for
Africa, whatever. I
investment.
just make up questions.
A cost-competitive manufacturing industry anchored on abundant labor and competitive manual dexterity and focused on higher value addition. A boom in infrastructure development makes the country a rising star to host and service lucrative investments for global markets, coupled with remarkable renewable energy potential. A journey of value creation and diversification in the mining sector drives profit margins and productivity toward green pastures. A member of the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme. An increased demand for financial and ICT services to support a growing domestic and regional economy. This country's majestic beauty, rugged terrain, and serene simplicity offers a distinct tourism experience rarely found in more commercialized destinations. An alternative lifestyle of adventure and beauty. International connectivity made easy by world-class transport and logistics infrastructure, as well as access to major international ports, sea and air, for shipping goods to and from global destinations. Harmonious labor relations and Lesotho's long-standing tradition of ensuring investment security and an investment-friendly environment. A government committed to promotion and support of indigenous and foreign direct investment. Unparalleled track record of investor satisfaction.
We've increased our capacity enormously. We now operate from 11 different buildings in Lesotho, employing 3,200 people, which is a testament. The Lesotho people are well educated. They are a gentle nation, And there's nowhere that I'd rather be than in Lesotho. Over the past 16 years, we've become by far the biggest and most well-known workwear brand in Africa. And we credit a great deal of our success to the fact that we've been in Lesotho.
Letseng Diamonds Pty Limited is a locally registered company. It holds the mining lease for the Letseng mine, 70% shareholding Gem Diamonds Limited, listed on the London Stock Exchange, and 30% government shareholding. And although we produce just over 100,000 carats per annum, our dollar per carat is in the region of $2,000, $3,000 per carat, compared to a global average of $100 per carat. So we're known for producing the large, top quality white stones.
Formosa has been here almost 11 years, since 2004. We have not experienced so much about the water supply issues and also the electricity stoppage issues. We can always export our products most of the time, on time. This country is governed by the law. Okay, everything is clear. How much you have to pay and how much you will be charged a pound is clearly stated.
Come, explore Lesotho, and make it your destination to invest, live, and prosper. And a growing and diversifying economy, offering significant competitive advantages and value to its inhabitants and to all those looking for an ideal place to invest, live, and prosper. The Kingdom of Lesotho offers accessibility, sustainable growth, a free enterprise and free market economic system, an educated human resource base with one of the highest literacy rates in Africa. Market access. A nation expanding its economy and empowering wealth creation through a robust commercial agriculture and agro-processing strategy for investment. A cost-competitive manufacturing industry anchored on abundant labor and competitive manual dexterity and focused on higher value addition. A boom in infrastructure development makes the country a rising star to host and service lucrative investments for global markets, coupled with remarkable renewable energy potential. A journey of value creation and diversification in the mining sector drives profit margins and productivity toward green pastures. A member of the Kimberley
Just to say welcome to my guests for the second phase of this program. We're supposed to be on break for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, but good, you guys are welcome. But before we start the second phase, I'm going to start with this beautiful music all the way from Lesotho.
አባቱ ደጀን እናቱ ጣና የኢትዮጵያ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ ፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማነ ሲሉ ከወዲነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን
Thank you so much, guys. I'm just going to bring you guys in. I have Malafia. Are you ready? Because your camera, just to know if you're ready before I bring you in. Okay, I think I will just, yeah. I think I'll just bring us in. Yeah, good. Let me see who is there. Just so I know we have our ambassador in-house. We have Chad Affair as well, all the way from Lesotho. Thank you, guys. It's good to see your face.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm going to get you guys first to introduce yourself, and then also to send your message to fellow Africans out there for today. And welcome back, Dean. Did you get a cup of tea? I actually didn't have the opportunity to get a cup of tea and drink. So, Dean, how are you? Are you with us, Dean? He's looking as if he's not with us. Dean. So I'll let you talk.
Here.
Yeah,
Hello?
go ahead.
The dean is not here, but I'm not the dean. I'm the
No. I wasn't talking to you. I mean the other
Oh.
person. Yeah, sorry. He was looking at us as if he was not. He doesn't realize that we are live. His name is
okay.
Dean Okai. So, sir, I'll give you the opportunity to give your message to your fellow Africans. Introduce yourself to us, and just to say again, thank you so much for honoring this invitation. Well appreciated.
Okay. Hello, Africa. I wish you a happy Africa Day today, and to all the excellencies, the ambassadors who represent Africa here in Ireland, and all our diaspora who live in Ireland. I wish you a very happy Africa Day. And my name is Kulumi Nzawula. I'm the ambassador of the Kingdom of Lesotho. And I really appreciate your invitation to this event, which marks our day. And we are very glad to celebrate this day with you, our diaspora. We are very glad for you to have organized this kind of celebration. And we believe that probably next year, we will have a much better presentation. Probably the COVID-19 will have gone, and then we will probably be able to meet physically, to display visually. I mean, what we have in terms of artifacts and food. And all that, and culture and music, dance, and all those things, and praises, like Southern Africans, they like praises. I think even Nigerians, I know they are good in singing praises and all that. So for their kings and their chiefs, of course. So I think we really enjoy that, and we are very happy. that this has been organized, and I'm glad to also thank the councillors or deputy ambassadors of these embassies in Dublin, who have also worked so hard to upload some of the information that you are sharing in this platform today. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. It's good to have you. And you know, we know what it means when we actually celebrate this African Day, when we see each other together. I know you're a good dancer. I've seen you putting your steps and dancing. We would have had the opportunity to dance, you know, exploit all the craft and creativities that is within our continent itself. But that was a good music that was sent to us there, that music that we used to open the, you know, this section. That was really beautiful. And thank you guys for the support, because you've always ready to support us as a community. You've not, you know, there's one thing that we've been talking about today is about Africans being one.
Yeah.
And that spirit of being one, I've seen it in you, because every time you are being called up on, it doesn't matter. You don't say, oh, these are Nigerians, these are Ghanaians, these are, you know, you come in and you support us. And, you know, that is what leadership is about. That is what that spirit of Mbantu, I've been trying to pronounce that thing.
Ubuntu,
yeah, the spirit of Ubuntu. Yeah. So that is what it means. It's about us knowing and understanding that we are one, the togetherness, coming together and doing things together and appreciating each other rather than dividing ourselves, saying, oh, I'm from the Kingdom of Lesotho. I don't want to have anything to do with Nigerian citizens in Ireland. You know, we are one. Yeah. So thank you so much for that unity, because it is really extraordinary to have those kind of leadership. Now, I'm going to get you as well to, you know, give your message out to the world, our deputy head of mission here, from the Kingdom of Lesotho. So we are in Lesotho today. That's where we are. That is where we are. And thank you as well, because I know I've been on your neck, calling and testing what is happening. So thank you so much for making this happen. So give us your message for today.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And we would like to, as my ambassador has already said, let me first introduce myself to the viewers. I am Pisetso Boroto, the Deputy Head of Mission in the Embassy of the Kingdom of Lesotho here in Ireland. And we thank Adcenter for this initiative and this good work, so that we Africans can celebrate this milestone of Africa Day, you know, since the establishment of the Organization of African Unity 58 years ago. And I would like to remember, like he did say, we have unity in diversity. Africa is a big continent with a lot of countries and different cultures, but at the end of the day, we are all Africans, and we want to encourage our diaspora all over Ireland, where they are, to continue showcasing the African culture as part of celebrating this. You know, in the past years, it has been challenging with the COVID-19 pandemic, and unfortunately, we have to social distance. It's almost impractical to meet physically, but we thank you for the opportunity that you've made and the initiative to make sure that even though we are unable to physically interact, we can still virtually interact and still celebrate the African Day. And thank you very much for this opportunity. And we are happy and we enjoying and fortunately today we have the African sun. So which is a beautiful thing. Which is a beautiful thing.
Now, I know, I think you will need to get a glass of water, but before you do that, you can still stay. Tell us about these clothes that you're wearing. I'm looking at your clothes there. You know, if you can stand up and show us what you're wearing.
Oh, great. This is our Lesotho blanket, you know, it's called Siana Marena. The blanket is called Siana Marena. It's a traditional Lesotho blanket that we wear. And then I've got my Lesotho shirt called a Sishweshwe shirt.
Yeah.
Named after the founder of the Basotho nation, Kim Mosheshe I. So when you see the ladies dressed in this African print, it's called Sishweshwe.
Yeah.
And then we wear the blanket. I just, you know, I can wear it all around. Good. You see? Okay, let me get my hat, bro.
That's nice.
That's okay.
Good. This is the Basotho hat.
You have to get me one of these hats because I actually have a picture that I took with it. Was it 2 years ago when I met the ambassador? We had a program in Dublin, in Blanchester, when we have the World Food Festival Day. If you can remember that, I had this hat on me. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you so much.
Good. So this is how I look like in the mountain kingdom of Lesotho, as a real Lesotho man.
Yeah.
We have that blanket.
Exactly.
It is quite heavy. Because Lesotho can get very cold. Like we have just had snow, the first snows in Lesotho now because it's winter. So the temperatures can go to -10. So that's why they have a very heavy blanket that they wear in the winter.
Yeah. So it's good that we have, you know, the opportunity to show these stars and this beauty of what Lesotho is, and you know, it is good. But I have a guest here with us now, and I'm going to get him to just introduce himself before we continue our conversation. And I have David Smith, all the way from UK. He's the chairperson of the British and African Chambers of Commerce. I've been talking about, Ambassador, I've been talking to you about these Chambers of Commerce, the opportunities that is there. You know, we talk about African being a place of wealth. And I think after this, we organize a meeting with him and see what are the opportunities that is there. And it's good to have you here today just to get to meet each other and just to connect. So David, I'll let the floor for you.
Thank you very much.
If you want to just introduce yourself first before you do the present, introduce yourself, and then we later do the presentation. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Smith. I am chairman of British African Business Alliance. This is an initiative started by some Ugandan friends, Ugandan Nigerian friends of mine, who recognized that there was no Chamber of Commerce for African business leaders in the UK. Now, to be fair, there is a Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce that is very strong in Lagos, not so strong in the UK. There is also a South African Chamber of Commerce in the UK, which deals with South African issues. But if you're from Ethiopia or Namibia or Uganda or even Ghana, there is no dedicated African Chamber of Commerce. We went to British Chambers of Commerce and they said, yes, we're delighted. We think you should go ahead with that, but bring us a letter from every trade minister and every ambassador. And at the time that was like 104 letters. And I was thinking to myself, that doesn't really help if we're only dealing with one country. The opportunity for Africans in the UK and for Africans in Ireland is to mobilize the knowledge base, the technology base, and the investment base to implement projects in multiple countries at the same time, in the same sector, delivering the same benefits to different communities and populations. So we see it as an opportunity for right-thinking people, business-minded people to come together and to deliver commercial benefit to the countries and communities that they represent. In the light of Brexit, and I know that sitting in Dublin, you're on a different side of the border to us, there are many opportunities both within Europe and within UK for African countries to take advantage of. And so what I would be saying to you is that now is a time to bring business leaders together. The platform that Susanna is creating here is a very interesting one. And the opportunity is in hundreds of millions of euros and pounds and dollars as we help people to understand that Africa is 54 countries, that there are many very different cultures, many different legal systems, many different peoples trying to solve many of the same problems. So I would welcome the opportunity for a further conversation, and I look forward to sharing some of my thoughts on Africa when we talk later in the afternoon.
Thank you so much for that introduction, David. We have our ambassador here from the Kingdom of Lesotho, and I'm sure he's keen to tell us about what are the, when we say Africa is a place of wealth, what does that mean to you, and what is all those resources that we have within the continent, within the Kingdom of Lesotho? Do you want, because when we say we are celebrating African Day, what we are really celebrating is a change, is the opportunities that are there. So tell us, what is those opportunities in terms of business opportunities that people can tap into within the Kingdom of Lesotho?
Okay, thank you very much for that question.
Okay, so what happened there? I think it drops. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the child affair while we wait for him to come in. So something happened there. I think he was okay. He's coming back.
Okay.
I'll just wait for him to come back in, and then we can.
Okay.
Okay. So while we are waiting, anyway, we can. Okay, he's back. He's back. Yeah, I don't know what is happening there. Okay, so something is happening there. Yeah. So he's back with us. Yeah, sorry, you're back with us. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Is anybody hearing me?
We can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can
All
hear
of
you.
us can hear you, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm simply caught now.
No. We can hear you. So you can keep talking. We can hear you.
Is anybody hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Can you hear us? Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to get you to talk then for a while because he's having problem with his system. I'll bring in the charge to talk while we are waiting to see what happened with him. So do you want to just keep the conversation going? Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, can you please just rephrase your question so that I can be precise?
So my question is basically, what are the opportunities that is there in the Kingdom of Lesotho in terms of business opportunity, in terms of the wealth within the continent that can be tapped into? So I said that when we celebrate African Day, we're celebrating changes. So practically that's what we're celebrating. So what are those opportunities that is there?
Oh, all right.
Can you hear us now, Ambassador?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So do you want? Okay, go ahead.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah,
yes,
we hear you.
Yes, yes, indeed, Africa is a land of opportunity, and Lesotho is, of course, and we have been friends with the UK for a long time, well, for almost 150 years when they colonized us, and when they left in 1996, in Lesotho. We also have the Chamber of Commerce in Lesotho and other nations. But Lesotho, like the video that you saw earlier, showed the land where a lot of manufacturing is taking place right now, well, taking advantage of the American AGOA legislation that allowed African countries to access the US market through textile industry. So Lesotho is a very experienced country now in textile industry, but the indigenous products.
Oh, I think there's something wrong. So do you want to just keep us going while we wait for him?
Okay. All right. We have a number of opportunities in Lesotho. Let me first say Lesotho is famous for the best diamonds in the world. I'll say this because we have the highest paid dollar per carat diamonds in the world. That is Lesotho diamonds, because we've got the purest diamonds in the world. So we've got an opportunity in the mining industry, and mainly the diamond mine. So if you can check, you'll realize that within diamond mine, if you look at the video there about Lesotho, they have one of the best diamonds, and that is still leading currently in the world. Is the highest dollar rate per carat in the world. Because if a standard diamond from other African countries is about $80 per carat, but the Lesotho diamond was able to sell for about $3,000 per carat. That's how pure and beautiful Lesotho diamonds are. So there is an opportunity for that. We have a lot of greenfields, and there's an opportunity for investors to come invest in Lesotho and turn our greenfields into diamond mines. All right. And then we've got the wool and mohair. Currently, we are number 2 in the world with the best quality of wool and mohair, only second to Australia. So the Lesotho wool and mohair is beautiful. Some of the best suits in Italy are the material that is used to produce them is the Lesotho wool. And then, of course, we've got a water in Lesotho in abundance. It is actually called the white gold because we have the purest water in the region. Lesotho exports water to South Africa because of their high altitude and the mountains. So the sources of water are in Lesotho. And because of that, Lesotho we are able to produce the high quality trout fish. Most of the trout fish is sold in Japan. Japan imports the Lesotho trout because for trout fish, you need fresh water. So we have abundance of trout and we export it to countries like Japan. And even in Cape Town, you find that the best quality trout you find there in South Africa is the Lesotho trout. And we do have other opportunities like the textile industries. We also have the potato productions because we've got some good areas and things like that. We are already one of the first countries in Africa to complete the legislation for cannabis cultivation and production for medicinal use. And we've got other investors that have already commented that, and that is one of our strongest points in the country. There was a time where I was in discussion with other Irish pharmaceutical companies where they have interest to go and cultivate and produce and process the CBD oil for medicinal purposes. So those are some of the opportunities that are available in Lesotho. We've got one of the highest literacy rates in Africa. So we've got the human resources, we've got the human capital in Lesotho. And we're looking for people that we could partner with and grade and turn those opportunities into business growth and to alleviate poverty, create employment, and encourage exports of our Lesotho products.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll see if the ambassador is able to come in and comment now. Can you hear us? I'm not sure if he's hearing us. It's there.
Your Excellency, can you hear us?
Okay, I'll bring David back into the conversation. Now, David, you can do your presentation while we do the back. We try and sort out some of the technical issues here. Yeah.
Yes, just give me a few minutes to bring up the screen.
Okay, good. Do you need to share it or?
Yeah, I will do, but I need to find it first.
Okay.
I thought I was doing it later, but I can bring that forward. I think the opportunities of Lesotho sound fascinating. I had a conversation at the end of last year with a gentleman who was looking at the medical cannabis production. And to be honest, that is one of those pharmaceuticals that is so underestimated at the moment. Hang on, where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Here we go.
Keep cutting all the time.
Okay. Catalyst for development. Right. Now I need to go there. And then I'm going to share.
So we have a comment on Facebook there. Somebody saying it's interesting and it's fantastic to learn more about Lesotho. So, people are enjoying the conversation. Yeah.
Oh, great.
I know the ambassador is there. His Excellency is there with us, but I'm not sure if he's able to hear us well. Can you just check with him? Because I know he's just there with us there. So just to bring him in if he wants to make a comment before David starts. Are you able to hear us? Your Excellency? Oh, no, your system is on mute. You need to unmute yourself over there. You need to unmute yourself because you are talking, but we can't hear you. I know technology can be funny sometimes, but if you look at your system there, you need to unmute. Okay, while we are waiting, David, do you want to just go ahead? Sorry for that.
Okay. Let me just try and share my screen again. It wouldn't let me just now. So share screen.
You click on the share and then I'll give the permission for you to share then.
Window, PowerPoint. Share. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Follow these steps. Oh goodness. Okay, I will talk without the presentation.
Okay.
The presentation I was going to show you, which I have to change settings in my computer to enable me to use, is about the role of the diaspora as a catalyst to development. And what I want to emphasize here is that very often people view Africa as the ultimate takeaway. You go there, you choose what you want, you take it away, and you reprocess it in your own country. It's been going on for hundreds of years. And yet, there are technologies available, there is funding available, there is expertise available that enables that process to be changed. However, it's not a process that is going to change by itself. And when you think about the people who are living in village communities all over the continent, they don't have access to technology. They don't have access to the expertise, and they don't have access to the funding. So for them, it's a non-starter of a game. And what we would suggest is that the catalyst for changing that narrative sits in the hands of the business leaders in the diaspora in the countries outside Africa, or maybe even in the countries inside Africa, because there is a huge opportunity for technology transfer within the continent. We're working on a project in Nigeria at the moment where it's quite obvious that over 100 million people are not able to take their products to international markets because there is no railways. And one sort of thinks to yourself, well, no, there's no railway because no one saw the need to build it. And yet, how can we say that in a country like the UK, there are railways all over the place, taking people to markets, taking people to offices, taking goods to different places, different ports, and yet 600,000 square kilometers, which is only a fraction of Africa, doesn't have that connectivity. Nigeria is 2.5, that 600,000 square kilometers is 2.5 times the UK, and not one single railway line. So when we look at the continent, it's not just what can I do in my community, but also what can I do for my continent. And as part of our membership, we have brought together a number of rail professionals who have contributed to putting together a proposal which now sits with the Ministry of Transportation in Abuja. If they approve it, then we have the challenge of bringing the funding to make it happen. But actually what we've got is a railway designed by Nigerians for Nigeria. And that makes it unique in many ways. And there are lessons to be learned for other countries here who are not yet looking at their diaspora and saying, where is the expertise? How can we mobilize that expertise? And how can we bring it to bear for the benefit of our people? So I'm fascinated by the interaction that goes on. Within Lesotho, we looked at a CBD project. Within South Africa, we looked at a fast food project. Within Zimbabwe, we have organized a waste to energy project. And when I say organized, we have been the catalyst. A gentleman from Bulawayo who lives in Bradford in the UK joined us as a member. We introduced him to a company in Reading. He brought the political will from the Minister for Bulawayo when she was here on an inward trade mission. And as a result of that meeting in November 2019, $120 million have now been made available to draw down to build 2 solar farms and a waste to energy plant, adding something like 67 megawatts to the local grid in Bulawayo and contributing to the well-being of the people. Now, when I give that as an example, I've got to be very careful, because although we were a catalyst, we didn't bring the money. Although we were a catalyst, we didn't bring the technology. Although we were a catalyst, we didn't bring the political will. But we were instrumental in bringing all of those 3 things together, because without us, it wouldn't have happened. The man from Bradford would never have met the company from Reading. The company from Reading would never have gone to Bulawayo to meet the minister. The feasibility study would never have been done, and the funding would never have been put in place. And so what I can safely say is that it is the work that individuals do in the diaspora community, when leveraged by capabilities that are beyond their own personal capabilities, enable massive and rapid change to take place. Currently, we're working with a company in Sussex. They have designed and built what I call the village utility company. And many of us, when we leave the city, recognize that the power supply in our local community, in our local village, is down to my own diesel generator, my own kerosene lamp, my own solar power system. Well, what they've done is put 200 kilowatts of solar farm into a 40-foot container. They've matched that with a water purification system that would enable 7,000 liters per hour of fresh water to be processed from a river, from a lake, from a pond, and with the right filters in place, even from seawater. And to go with that, because you have the power, there is a communication system, which means suddenly the village leapfrogs. And I think this is a term we need to use often with Africa. We leapfrog the pylons, we leapfrog the miles of wire, and we have in this community power, water, and communications that make us equipped to converse with the rest of the world. And when you take that power into the village, suddenly there are businesses that can be set up that use that power to drive machinery, whether that's for pressing juice, whether it's for manufacturing furniture, whether it is for some other processing capability. It can't happen without the power. And so what we're looking at all the time is how do we bring UK companies, international companies, with pieces of kit into the environment where people in the diaspora can say, I need that in my country. I think that the way forward for many countries is in the process of bringing the diaspora together. And I often have the pleasure of asking this question: who amongst you would like a 300% increase in your income? And I always put my hand up too. I put my hand up too because I'd quite like a 300% increase in my income. And that income, however derived, would make a benefit to my family and to my family's position in its community. Let me tell you about a lady who lives in Walton-on-Thames and who is currently working with her village elders in her village in southwest Uganda. What they are doing there is identifying projects that the village can take forward that enhances the wealth of the people who live in the village. And when I say 300%, she managed to do that for 28 women who lived in that village. And what she gave them was 10 chickens. And by selling the eggs from those 10 chickens, they were able to buy goats. And from the milk that they sold for the goats and the eggs that they sold for the chickens, they were able to buy pigs. Now, that's not a model for every village, but there are many villages in Africa where that is a model. And actually, the production of protein is very, very important. We're working with a gentleman from South Sudan. He is looking to set up a chicken meat factory just outside Juba. Currently, the meat comes from the chicken comes from Brazil. It's flown in, it's frozen, it's poor quality, and it's very, very expensive. It's $10 for a 1.5 kilo bird. So we're looking for $7 million to go into South Sudan to set up this chicken farm using technology from the UK and putting our member in a position where he's producing 40,000 chickens a week for people in South Sudan. Now, when you look at the population of Juba, 40,000 birds against 600,000 population is not very much. But actually, the chickens will be half the price of the chickens from Brazil. And therefore, the opportunity is to grow that business and other businesses like it to better serve the people of that country. Now, I can quietly go on for many hours, but I know you're all busy and you all have other things to do. So I'm going to draw to a close there. I have another call that I need to attend to, and I will be back later in the afternoon. But I certainly look forward to having questions and having discussions with you at some later stage.
Yeah, thank you so much for that narrative, and thank you for, fostering the platform for us while we wait to engage. And I know that after this, we will have the opportunity to meet up with Your Excellency of the Kingdom of Lesotho. We will definitely make that happen. And so that, we can start talking how to start creating that wealth within, we say Africa is a place of wealth. And if it's a place of wealth, like you said, David, we all need to create those wealth. And it's not just about creating the wealth. It's about changing our community. It's about being the people, bringing those opportunities to our community. Those examples you mentioned there are very keen. One person creating business for 20 or more people. And if every one of us is playing that role, our community will be a change place. So thank you so much, David. And yes, we will get to see more of you. Your Excellency, is it possible are you able to hear us now? Are you able to hear
I
us
can hear
clearly?
you, but I keep on. Hello?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead and talk. We can hear you clearly.
I can hear you. Yeah, but I keep on cutting, and I'm also preparing for another webinar.
Okay, so give us a short presentation before you leave then. Oh, he's gone again. Okay, what's happening here? I don't know. Okay, anyway, I don't know why we keep losing him. We just keep losing him there. So you go ahead and kick the evening, the afternoon for us before. So I know you might have to go yourself.
Yeah.
I know you are with us anyway, and hopefully we see you in the evening. Are you joining us in the afternoon again for the celebration? No, you can tell me in send that message to me and let me know. But for now,
okay.
Tell us what you would like everyone to really take home as Africans, to take home with regard to opportunities that are available in Lesotho. And before you do that, I'm just going to use this opportunity again, just to give ourselves a short break and play the music again, because that music is a beautiful one, and just to get people to just listen to that again.
አባይ ወንዙ ብዙ ነው መዘዙ ይባል ነበር ድሮ አሁን ተቀይሮ አባቱ ደጀን እናቱ ጣና የኢትዮጵያ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ አፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማነ ሲሉ ከወዴነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ
Yeah, thank you so much. That music was beautiful. Now we're going to have our child affair to give us a closing remark. Dean, you've been on the call. So do you want to give? You've been busy on the call. So do you want to give us your closing remark?
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. We really appreciate the good efforts you have done, and we also appreciate the contribution from our brother in the UK,
David Smith. Yeah,
David Smith, and there's a lot of opportunity and synergy, because what I think we should do is to take the discussion to another level, perhaps arrange another meeting where we can go into the nitty-gritties of various opportunities that are available in the Lesotho economic sector, and some of the projects that we have already discussed and highlighted. So indeed, there is an opportunity. Africa is the land of opportunities, and we've got abundance of land in Africa, and we can do a lot with land that's available. So I really want to thank you very much for this opportunity, and we're looking forward to the strong partnerships with European and Africa back in Africa. And this year, the 2021, we celebrate the important milestone under the theme of arts, culture, and heritage. So we want to use arts and culture to celebrate the African Day. And also another thing, my sister, that I didn't mention, that I think is very key. It has been affected inversely by the global pandemic, because now there's reductions in hospitality industry, traveling and tourism. But Lesotho is known for beautiful mountains. We've got the beautiful sceneries. So we've got, do you know that we have the only ski, there's a small ski in South Africa, but then in Lesotho we've got the Afro ski, which is like the only ski in Africa.
Yeah, I saw the video you sent to me.
Exactly. We've got snow in Lesotho during the winter time.
Yeah.
It can really get cold like the Northern Europe. So for people in Europe who like to chase the snow, the snow chases, because right now in Lesotho is winter when Europe is summer. So what they can do is that if they like to ski, they ski in Europe when it's winter in Europe, and then when it's summer in Europe, they can just
move to Africa.
And then ski in Africa. And then when there are competitions in Europe, they are like, whoo, they are the best, because they haven't stopped. They've been chasing the snow.
They've been chasing the snow, yeah.
So that's another opportunity. The hospitality industry in Lesotho, the beautiful mountains, the clean water, the ski resorts, and there's another opportunity whereby we are looking for investors that can develop another ski resort. There's the one that I showed you in the video, but then there's an opportunity for another ski resort that is right across or around the Drakensberg range, which is the boundary between Lesotho and South Africa, right at about 3,000 meters above sea level. So when you get to Lesotho, you get the highest pub in Africa, the highest bar, the highest restaurant, and the highest ski resort. And even when we go into mining, we've got the highest mine in the world, 3,000 meters above sea level.
Wow.
Because the country is so high. Everything is literally, if you check the world's records, the Guinness World Records, you'll find that our lowest point, we have the lowest point in the world at 1,400 meters above sea level. So that's why the country is nicknamed Kingdom in the Sky, because it's literally a kingdom in the sky.
So that is how the name Lesotho, the Kingdom of Lesotho, came into place.
Yeah, because it's nicknamed Kingdom in the Sky, or the Mountain Kingdom, because of the mountainous topography of the country. And then, of course, we have only 3 monarchies in Africa. So that's Lesotho, Swaziland, and Monaco, and Morocco. So as it stands, everyone else is a republic, but we've got that uniqueness as a country, and we are totally landlocked by the Republic of South Africa. So everybody else from afar, they assume Lesotho is South Africa, because we are fully landlocked by South Africa. But literally, we are another country inside South Africa. So it's an independent state within South Africa. So we have that advantage as well.
Okay, so Lesotho is actually inside South Africa.
Inside South Africa, fully landlocked by South Africa. So as much as we've got Swaziland, Botswana as our neighbors. They are neighbors because we are in the region of the Southern Africa region. And the SADC, we are part of SADC, which is the South African Development Community, you know, or the Southern region. Then we've got a country called South Africa. So Lesotho is in Southern Africa, you know, as the region, because South Africa is a country. Whereas we've got North Africa as countries in the north, West Africa as countries in the west. But then because in South Africa is a country, then the region is called the Southern Africa. So Lesotho is part of the Southern Africa, but it's totally inside and surrounded by South Africa. So South Africa is our only neighbor. It's only Lesotho and Vatican that are completely landlocked by another country in the world.
So, so thank you for taking us through this kind of knowledge, you know, letting the people know more about Lesotho, because we say we are celebrating the continent of Africa, which is the second largest in the world, in the universe. We're the second largest in terms of space, in terms of people, in terms of opportunities. And taking us through that, you know, giving us that kind of knowledge as to what it means to be, you know, to be African. I don't know. I have my fellow our guest there. Is there anybody that wants to have a question for our deputy de charge before he leaves? Thank you, Lydia, for joining us again today. It's good to see your beautiful face. You know, it's always good to have you guys in the house. I'm excited. It's been technically, it's been a little bit icky today. We couldn't get the ambassador to speak, but good. We had him in the house. We had you as well in the house that made it happen. So Lydia, do you have a question or what? You know, I can see you confirming most of the thing he was saying in terms of Lesotho.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Happy Africa Day. I'm just surprised that Lesotho is a country I didn't know. I had no idea. Yes. And also to know that it's inside South Africa, it's just amazing. So thank you. I've learned something as an African. We always don't know this.
You see, you know, every time people say the continent of Africa has 54 countries, I get upset because we have 61 in total. Now, 54 are the people that are members of the African Union. Now, in terms of, you know, the way we have the European Union, there's some countries that are part of Europe, but they are not members to the European Union. And because they are not members, they are seen as outsiders, as if they are not part of Europe. They're still part of Europe. They just made a choice not to be part of the European Union. So in Africa as well, we have countries and we have islands, just like you have the Caribbean islands. In total, if we want to categorize it in terms of the countries, we are 61. But the people that are members to the African Union are 54. But every time people say, so I get complicit, like, no, we're not 54. So I'm happy that you're learning today as much as I'm learning as well. So what I learned newly, and I'm sure people that are watching us, is that I don't realize that, I know Lesotho is a country, but I don't realize it's in the middle of South Africa. So we keep learning about this continent. These are beautiful, big, marvelous continent. We will keep learning every single day. And it's good that, you know, you can say, oh, I'm learning this for the first time, that Lesotho is actually a country, because so many people are out there as well that this is their first time of knowing that Lesotho is actually a country, or even knowing the same thing that I'm knowing, that it is actually in between the South Africa. I know you guys are neighbors to the Botswana, Zimbabwe, you know, they're a little bit neighbors, you surround each other, but it's good to learn something new.
Yeah.
You know, it's always good to learn something new every time we come together. So I don't know, Lydia, because you're just joining us, you know, we will put you in the spotlight. just to share something a little bit today again with the people that will have the opportunity to get to see you. We've been playing music from Lesotho all through today. We've had a video showcasing Lesotho Kingdom, to the world. What is it again about Africa that you feel that this is a message that needs to be put out there to people?
Thank you. First of all, I would love to say that I'm really a very proud African. So there's so many things, we can't just sum them into one little sentence or paragraph, So Africa is massive. We have so many different things, but the first thing and most important is the people. We are all beautiful. We are all different, but no matter what, we just are African people, African community. So for me, that's really it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hold on, please.
You want me to continue?
Oh, no, you could, but yeah, if you want, yeah, you could, but look, yeah, that's okay for now. So just to say thank you to you, our Deputy Chad, do you want to say your goodbye before you leave?
All right, okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and once again, may the good Lord bless you all, and may we continue to be Africans and represent Africa everywhere we are. Thank you once again, and I'm glad that you now know of the Kingdom of Lesotho. The official name is the Kingdom of Lesotho, and it's normally referred to as Lesotho.
Yeah.
And the people are called Basotho.
Basotho. Okay.
Yes, and the language is called Sesotho.
You have to put that in the private chat, or you put it on the Facebook for us. So the people are called Basotho, and the language is called. So you can put the two there for us, and I'll put it out there. That is another new thing to learn today. So for those of you that are watching us, the official name of Lesotho is the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Yeah.
The people are called Basotho.
Yeah.
And what is the language called?
The language is called Sesotho.
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 So that's we keep learning every single day, and it's just a beautiful continent to be. So thanks for having. We're happy to have you. We're going to just play we have a short break and play a video. And thank you so much for joining us.
All right, pleasure is all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Saida Salau and I'm the Company Secretary of Afro in the Diaspora, and I want to wish you all Happy Africans Day. This is a day which is celebrated all over the world and not just in Africa. We're celebrating it here in Ireland too. So it is also a day whereby we embrace our African culture and tradition, and this event will showcase some of this culture and tradition. So please do sit put and enjoy the event.
So thank you for that, and I'm just going to entertain us again with another beautiful music.
Oh boy, ወንዙ ብዙ ነው መዘዙ ይባል ነበር ድሮ አሁን ተቀይሮ አባቱ ደጀን እናቱ ጣና የኢትዮጵያ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ ፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማን ሲሉ ከወዲነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ አባይ ወንዛ ወንዙ ብዙ ነው መዘዙ ይባል ነበር ድሮ አሁን ተቀይሮ አባቱ ደጀን እናቱ ጣና የኢትዮጵያ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ ፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማነ ሲሉ ከወዴነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ
Hello, ụbọchị ọma Africa, ndị be anyị, ndewonu.
Hi, my sisters from Africa. Looking at me, you can just know where I come from, an African woman. Portraying my culture. Look at my hairstyle. I hope you like it. You enjoy it. This signifies where I come from, my identity. And please, ladies, I'm calling upon you to teach your children, show them this, let them know where we are coming from. We've bought the white man's culture and we've forgotten about our own culture. And I think I really look lovely in this hairstyle. And please, ladies, teach your children and let them make their choice whether they want to go back to this our old school or not. But I think we should teach them instead of buying the white man culture and bring them up in that white man hairstyle. Look at my hair. Oh my God, I so much love it. So I'm back to the old school, back home. Looking at me, you just know where I come from. Thanks. Just want to make this short video to encourage us that we should always show our children our culture, let them know that we are from Africa, because there are some children that have not even seen this style. So please, ladies, let's teach our children and show them where and what our culture look like. Thank you, ladies, and stay blessed.
Hey everybody, my name is Caroline. I teach Kizomba, Semba, traditional Afro and Jinga. I'm from County Clare, so come join us on Thursday for Africa Day. So we're going to celebrate. Sister Sam is going to interview me for the Afro Diaspora Center, and so come join us. Let's celebrate all the African Irish here, all the Irish, all the African people, everybody here together. We're all one. We're one family. So come join us, and let me tell you about
Thank you guys. It's yeah. So it's been very interesting couple of days. This has been going on for 4 days now. We've been celebrating the continent of Africa. You know, we've been, we've given ourselves opportunities and time to just celebrate who we are as Africans. So we are coming to an end of the 4-day celebration. It's been interesting. Yesterday night we had an African music festival, and I have to say it was an hour of wine and dine, because all you just need to do is just to relax, listening to the beautiful music all around the continent. These musics are music of the 60s. You see the real pure, the purity in the African music. So what I'm going to get every one of us to do as we come to this evening, this afternoon of celebration, is to get each of you to put out a message out there. For us as women, African women, we find ourselves in places whereby without being an African, it's easy to be complicit of the situations we find ourselves. We find ourselves in situations that we have to thrive, in terms of putting ourselves, positioning ourselves, because those are one of the things we talk about today. Where do you position yourself in the community? How do we put ourselves in places that we be meaningful in terms of our political ambitions? And it is not about being elected politically into a position, but it's about you and me being political conscious of our environment, of where we are, of the role we play in the community, and how we can make, the future for Africans in diaspora. Because yes, we're celebrating Africa all over the world, all through the universe, the different, places, but we are Africans in diaspora. And in being diaspora, it is now an opportunity for us as we celebrate to position ourselves in a position of power. So I'm going to start with the men, because being a woman, I think sometimes I choose to be, allow my women to take the center stage. So I'll start with the men and we end today with women. Because like we know, when we talk about Africa, we call it Mama Africa. There's this notation to a reference to the fact that Africa has this mothering, caring nature. So today, as we celebrate, we should end it with women. So I will call on you, John. I hope you're ready. So one of the things that you've identified today in terms of our political consciousness is about unity, is about leadership, is about love, is about coming together. So tell us, give the message now as we leave. What is the message for today is 25th of March, over 67 years ago, which was in 25th of May, 1963, if I'm correct now, I might be correct in that, in terms of the year. That was the first year in which this took place. And today we're still celebrating this liberation, this unity, the union of bringing African countries together as one. So what is your message to the people out there? The people, the African community in Ireland, Africans in the diaspora, and most especially Africans living in the County Monaghan region. You're on mute.
All right, thank you. Talking to myself. Yes, my message will not be so much. First of all, we have to recognize who we are as people and the values that we also have. And we should always look at the past. And the past will help us to have a direction on how we function in the present. Then our present situation will determine how the future is going to be. So if the past has so much to do with our do so much to do with pains in relation to colonialism and or other aspect of it that make it to be so painful at that time. So we are now in the present. So how has the past shaped our present, and how is our present going to define what is to come, which is the future? So I can say from the little time I have been conscious of myself as an adult, as an African, I can say that there's much disunity, much divisions, and we have been able to begin to lose our values and our sense of identity. So not until we be able to come together as one and be able to realize that our continent is great and we need to continue to work together to make it look as it is. You'll be mentioning Africa has a lot of wealth, and up to today we still have the wealth. But how the irony of being the most poor continent in the world. So we can see that the division has not helped us, and our past, we have not connected with our past in order to redefine it and make it look more positive in the very present state we are, and also to look forward to project it in a way that it will benefit us at the moment and also our future generations to come. So, and also the mothers of Africa, I think they should also take a center stage in terms of leadership. They have been marginalized for too long, and they have so much they can offer. So not until the mothers of Africa, they are given the space and be respected in order for them to have their positions of leadership, I think we will still be struggling as a continent. So now that we are here as diasporans, we continue to make sure that we are not just looking for ourselves alone. We are living in a community that is hosting us, that are giving us spaces to thrive. So we also have to continue to contribute positively and to make them understand that we are here to make a better, make it look much better and look more colorful as it is. So I will leave it in this way, that we should try as much as possible to be united as one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Lydia, are you ready?
Well, thank you so much, brother, for what you've said. Obviously, we don't have enough unity, especially Africans in diaspora. We don't really have unity. If we can all come together, we can do so much, because Africa is a rich continent. If we come together as one and do things that can help, especially the women, we can achieve so much. So thank you for what you said. I don't really have much to say at this time, but because you've summed up everything, Brother John, so I'm just going to say thank you for saying all that.
And I think we have to say again, Lydia, to women out there as well, as Mother Africa, it is not just when we come together like this to celebrate African Day, that it should be something that we should keep celebrating all the time. And we should let our culture, our beauty, we should let it shine as we...
Absolutely.
Yeah. And well done. Again, just remind us when the Aberdeen Fashion Week is coming up, and some of the African designers that will be showcasing the African fashion, African fabric, Africa collections at the event.
Thank you for this opportunity. Aberdeen Fashion Week, Digital Aberdeen Fashion Week is happening next weekend, 29th and 30th of May. It will be on YouTube and Facebook. Links are shared all over the place. We'll also share at the Africa Advocacy Center. so that anyone can watch. So we have a few countries represented. We have 2 designers from Nigeria. We have one from Uganda, one from Tanzania, and myself from Kenya. And then we have lots other designers who are not African, but the African designers that we have are so great, and their work is just wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. And I know we have it on our Facebook page as well for people that will love to join you on the 29th of May. So now, Saidat, you are a young African Irish person, young and vibrant, and for a lot of youth out there, you represent the voice of the youth. So what will be the take home for today?
I would like to say that we should not shy away from roles, like from leadership roles, because sometimes we tend to lower our voices. We tend to shy away. We see other people as better than us. But I think that if we can just make our voices, because while I was in class, when I was in my master's here, I realized that we tend to keep quiet and let other people speak up. We feel like, oh, we don't have much to say, or we don't need to speak out. So I feel as an African, we should learn to speak out, say like we should put ourselves out there. We should actually speak out. And also the mention of Lesotho, like by one of our speakers, reminded me of something about how when I went to the hostel, I met a South African, Kenyan, and another Nigerian. So we became friends because they were my housemates, and it just came to mind that I said I'd love to visit South Africa. She said she'd love to visit Nigeria once and go to Kenya all together. Then we realized that we needed a visa. Then it made us realize that wouldn't it be lovely to have like a United States of African passport, and we can travel all over Africa. So you see, this keyword unity is really key, because imagine you having there's this kind of passport having the United States of Africa. How wonderful would that be? So I'm saying for the young youth out there, please make sure that you always speak out. Don't shy away. You are valid. You matter. Speak out. And don't be like, oh, she's Nigerian, she's Kenyan, she's this. No, let's stand as one. Let's be united. United we stand, and remember, divided we fall. Thank you so much, and once again, Happy Africans Day.
Thank you so much for that.
Can I just add something, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So my sister, I would like to tell you that even if visas are required for most countries, you don't actually go to an embassy to get the visa, because I've been to a few countries. All you do is just get to the airport and they give you a visa there. So it's not so bad, you know.
Oh, it's not all country, but like as a Nigerian, I wanted to go to South Africa now. I need a visa.
Yeah.
Right, at the airport.
Yeah,
no, I need a visa. Even before, not at the airport. Wow. I need a visa before even going. So it's only in some countries. Like I think as a Nigerian passport, I'm only privileged to like around 20 and something countries. That I don't need a visa at the moment that I can get at the airport. But like South Africa is not one of them. It's not that bad, but I'm just saying like the future,
that would be great. I know. Yeah. In some African country, you get your visa at the point of entry, while in some African country, you have to get a visa to go in as an African person. And you're quite right in the sense that it is time we start promoting that kind of unity. And I think this is what this for the past 4 days, every single one of us, we've been singing the same language. We've been talking about unity. We've been talking about togetherness. We'll be talking about oneness of Africa in terms of either language and the way. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I want to concur with my 2 honorable sisters here that I think let the change begin with us here in diaspora. And when we are able to achieve that, it will work. It will go a long way, because the African leaders they don't see themselves that they can work it out so we can have a united African. So if we, the diaspora, African in diaspora, can do this, and we begin to speak to our various governments want us to be one at this point in time. The division is too long now. When we in diaspora, we see ourselves as if we are just the same, have division amongst us. In Nigeria, you don't want to see a Kenyan taking the lead. A Kenyan don't want to see a Ghanaian taking the lead. Ghana don't want to see a Nigerian taking the lead. So how do we take the lead as Africans in this sense? And we begin look at the European Union after some years, after the economic community of what they call EEC, then they translate it into European Union, while African is still dividing themselves. No, you can't come into my country without visa. No, you can't come into my country without. You see, so we are not looking towards how the Western society have been working together, bringing themselves together, and we Africans continue to divide ourselves, even to the extent that even within the country we begin to tribalize ourselves. No, you are from east of Africa, Kenya. No, you are from central Kenya. You are from southern Kenya. We can't do, so we divide ourselves even within our country. So we have a long way to go. But let it make it short by we in diaspora begin to connect with ourselves, love ourselves. Then our leaders back home begin to see that we are dividing ourselves here while our children are uniting themselves over there. So it will be a lesson for them.
Thank you so much for that. So I think we will end today by this message to all Africans in diaspora, because we are in diaspora. We're celebrating African continent in the diaspora, and our key message will actually go to our key message will actually go to Africans in the diaspora. So just to say thank you very much again to every single person that has been part of this journey for the past 4 days, joining me each time to celebrate what it means to be African in the diaspora. I do appreciate all your time and effort. Thank you, Lydia, for calling you and you answer the call. It is really beautiful to have a sister that you can relate with. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother John, for joining us. Thank you, Saidat, my able company secretary. Thank you so much to Dan. I can see he's still on the call. Thank to the ambassadors, the Child Affair. Thank to all the guests that has been coming since Saturday, Sunday, yesterday afternoon, and in the evening we had a very beautiful time, enjoying African music from different African countries within the continent itself. And I'm not going to thank you all without thanking myself. Thank to myself. It's not been easy sitting down there for 3 hours each day, enjoying. I have to say I'm proud to be African. And I think every time during the time we're doing this African Day, I try to look as African as much as I can, in terms of my outlook. But I'm just happy to be with you guys, just celebrating, and to put the message out there that to all Africans in Ireland, to all over nearly 60,000 people identify in Ireland today as African within the counties that we have here in Ireland today. To that 0.38 Africans that are living in Monaghan, County Monaghan, to the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Irish Aid, to County Monaghan, and to the organization Afro in diaspora staff, volunteers that put in their money and resources to make this happen, because without the volunteers, without the board, without all these volunteers that support me in making this my vision into reality, we won't be here today, celebrating, in an open space, in a public global space. So again, thanks to our sponsors, the Department of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Irish Aid. Thanks to the County Council. Thank to every single one of you that have made this event a success. It took us very short time to come up with this, this 4 days event, but it's been fabulous. It's been fantastic. It's been exciting. It's been interesting. It's been, learning process. So our message to all Africans in the diaspora, as you celebrate the African Day, let us unite together in the diaspora, because when we have unity within our staff, we can go as far as we are. Let us be politically conscious that unity, togetherness between us is the greatest message that we can put out. So what I say again, and going back to our team, Africa, wake up. It is time to wake up from your slump. And we will leave with nice music from the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
አባይ ወንዛ ወንዙ ብዙ ነው መዘዙ ይባል ነበር ድሮ ድሮ አሁን ተቀይሮ አባቱ ደጀን እናቱ ጣና የኢትዮጵያ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ ፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማነ ሲሉ ከወዴነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ
Hello, my name is Saida Salau, and I'll be telling you all a story. So, the title of the story is How the Tortoise Overcame the Elephant and the Hippopotamus. The title sounds interesting, right? So let's begin. Once upon a time, in the animal kingdom, there lived an elephant and a hippopotamus who were very good friends and always used to eat together. One day, when they were both dining together, the tortoise appeared and said to the elephant and the hippopotamus that though they were very big and strong, neither of them could pull him out of the river with a strong piece of rope. He then offered the elephant 10,000 cowries if he could pull him out of the river the next day. The elephant, seeing that the tortoise was very small, said, "If I cannot pull you out of the river, I would give you 20,000 cowries." Whoa. So, on the following morning, the tortoise got a very strong rope and he tied it to one of his legs and went down to the river. When he got there, he removed the rope from his leg and tied it around a big piece of rock, while the elephant was left with the other end of the rope on the shore to pull. The elephant started pulling, and after a while, he collapsed out of exhaustion. I can imagine. When the tortoise noticed the pulling had stopped, he undid the rope from the rock and came to the land.
showing all the other animals that the rope was still tied to his leg, and the elephant had failed to pull him out. The elephant was thus forced to admit that the tortoise was the winner and paid him 20,000 cowries as agreed upon by both parties. The tortoise then took the cowries home to his wife and they lived together very happily. Well, you might think this is the end of the story, but it continues. So, after 3 months had passed, the tortoise, seeing that the money had greatly reduced, thought he could make some more money by the same trick. So he went to the hippopotamus and made the same bet with him. The hippopotamus said, I would make the bet, but I shall take the water while you shall take the land. I will then pull you into the water. I guess the hippopotamus felt that the tortoise won because it was in the water. Anyway, let's continue the story. The tortoise obviously agreed. So they went down to the river as before, and having got some strong rope, the tortoise tied it to one of his legs and then told the hippopotamus to go into the water. Immediately, the hippopotamus had turned his back and disappeared into the water. The tortoise took the rope off his leg and tied it around a strong palm tree which was growing nearby, and then hid himself at the foot of the tree. The hippopotamus started trying to pull the tortoise into the river, but he could not. He pulled and pulled and pulled until he got tired and he started to come up to the land. The tortoise saw him coming, so he quickly undid the rope and tied it to his land. Then he walked towards the hippopotamus, showing him the rope on his leg. The hippopotamus had to acknowledge that the tortoise was too strong for him, and he reluctantly gave him 20,000 cowries. The elephant and the hippopotamus then agreed to take the tortoise as their friend, as it was very strong. But we all know that the tortoise wasn't strong, rather it was cunning, and should we say he used its intellect. Well, the tortoise agreed to be their friends and told them both that it would like to live with them. But obviously, it could not be in two places at the same time. It then came up with an idea that it would leave his son to live with the hippopotamus in the water, while he himself would live with the elephant on the land. And this explains why the tortoise live on land and the turtle live in the water. And the end. I hope you enjoyed this story. And what are the lessons we learned from this story? Well, my lesson that I learned is number 1. The tortoise uses intellect to deceive both the hippopotamus and the elephant. So we can deduce from this that the mind is obviously mightier than mere strength. What do you think? Am I right? Then number 2 is the tortoise live on land while turtle live in water, despite the fact that they are both reptiles. And this is one of the main differences between a tortoise and a turtle. So share with me, you can comment or or unmute and tell me any lesson that I didn't mention that you learned from this story. This is Saidat Salah once again, and I hope you enjoyed this story. Bye.
That's good. Dean, are you ready to give your closing remark? Dean? Hello, Dean. Okay, another music.
አባይ ወንዛ ወንዙ ብዙ ነው መዘዙ ይባል ነበር ድሮ አሁን ተቀይሮ አባቱ መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ አፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማነ ሲሉ ከወዴነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህን ሞልተህ በላፍህ
So, are you ready, Dean, to give your closing remark? Hello, Dean. Are you still with us, Dean? Okay. So, anyway, we go and say goodbye to everyone. Enjoy your African Day. Have a lot of food and music, and bye. For me, Susanna Olatunji Kamalafe, the CEO of the Afro Diaspora Center. It's been a fantastic 4 days celebrating with you all the African Day, and to all Africans all around, and most especially to Africans, the 0.38 Africans living in County Monaghan, those in Cavan, Meads, and those places, Finger, those are the places we have joined in people to celebrate. But here we say Happy African Day and Happy African Day to all Africans in Monaghan. And again, to say thank you to the Department of Foreign Affairs and Irish Aid for supporting us, and most especially to the County Monaghan for supporting us in making this happen. Thank to the support from the integration officer Brendan Clarkin and to Benny Bradley. Both of you have been fantastic all through. And thanks most especially again to all my staffs for the Afro Diaspora Center, all the volunteers, all the people working with us in the Afro Diaspora Center. Thank you so much to each one of you. Thank you so much to my board members that showed up to celebrate the African Day. Thank you to all the volunteers again. Thank you, because the celebration wouldn't have happened without you guys. So again, enjoy your African Day. And bye to everyone. So I'll give you the music again, just to all the way from the kingdom of music.
አባይ ወንዛ ወንዙ ብዙ ነው መዘዙ ይባል ነበር ድሮ አሁን ተቀይሮ አባቱ ደጀን እናቱ ጣና የኢትዮጵያ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና የአገሬ ልጆች መጡ እንደገና መጡ እንደገና የአንድ የወንዝ ልጅ ይህም የአባይ አረግ ከእምነት ጋር ቋጥረ ከጋራ መሳቀቅ ከጋራ አንገት መድፋት ከጋራ አፍረት ወጥተ በያለህበቱ በያለማቱ ጥግ ባንተነት ኮርተ አንተ ማነ ሲሉ ከወዴነ ሲሉ በሙሉ ራስነት አንገትህን ቀና ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት አገሬ በላፍህን ሞልተህ ድምፅህን ከፍ አድርገህ ደረትህን ነፍተህ የአባይ ልጅ ነኝ እኔ ኢትዮጵያ ናት ሀገሬ በላፍህን multem, bena feni